Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 218. And it's going to be a tough day today. I have 5 meetings between now and noon, and then one more meeting in the afternoon. So it's going to be a really tough day. It's going to be hard to get hours in. And I contemplated not going anywhere, but I'm going to go. 2 of the meetings I'm leading, so I'll be sitting in the car with my camera on, leading 2 of the meetings. So I have to be prepared for those. My first meeting will be in the car, driving to my first casino, and at that point I will play the first casino and then get back to the car. I'll have about half an hour of driving, and then I'll have to stop for the second meeting, which I'll be leading. And then after that one, I'll have another half hour of driving. Then I'll have to stop for an hour and a half of meetings. And then from there, I'll continue on to my second casino. So, I mean, it's not great, but it's got to get done. And that means that I'll only have about 20 to 30 minutes of gambling in between 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. and noon, and then I'll be able to start my day from there. So hopefully everything turns out okay. It's definitely going to be a long day, and it's going to make me consider staying overnight since I don't have a meeting today like I did yesterday and didn't realize it. So yeah, that's the rough plan for today. I'll start getting ready for my first meeting here in a little bit. Right now it's 41 degrees outside and just heading out. You know, one thing I didn't consider last night as I was rushing to my meeting is gas. And I was pretty much completely out of fuel by the time I got there. I had less than 2 miles range, and I was able to get to a gas station after the meeting, and now I'm good until at least this afternoon. So that's where we are right now. I didn't add up how we did yesterday. Even now, I still haven't added it up, but looks like first is about 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, almost 1,400. So it was a okay day. It was a lot of work for 1,400, a lot of stops, a lot of pain with blackjack, but at least I didn't have tremendous drops. My biggest buy-in was 3,000, which, doesn't make me very comfortable considering that I was playing lower limits, but, it all worked out. So I'm on my way to the first casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, finished one meeting, and continuing on my trip here, I'll be at the first casino here shortly. Looks like it's going to be a cold day today. It's still only 46 degrees outside, but we're going to hop in this place. Looks like we're going to have about 35 minutes or 33 minutes in this casino before the next meeting starts. So, and I believe I'm presenting in the next meeting, so I'll probably do it out of the parking of this casino. So we're going to go ahead and hop in that casino, and I'll be back to update you. Alright, guys, I probably should not be doing this, but I am leaving this casino and continuing on. I have a meeting starting in a few minutes. I'm going to attempt to do it on the road. And looking at the meeting notes, I probably won't talk as much as I thought I would. We'll see how it starts, and if it looks like I'm going to have to talk right away, I'll pull over. But I've got about an hour and a half of driving, so I want to try to get as much drive time in as possible, because I only have just over an hour between meetings, and I don't want to be wasting any more time than I have to. So I went into this first casino and found very little, ended up making a couple small plays, and really didn't make much money. Ended the session ahead $44. So really that's all I could do. Just wasn't anything there. So other than that, walked around quite a bit in there, And I mean, I have come to expect in this place that there's hardly ever anything here, but it was on my way and not too far off my normal route, so I decided to stop. So that's what's going on right now. I'm going to let you go, hop on this meeting, continue my trip, and then I'll be back to update you. It'll probably be about 3 hours from now minimum before you hear from me, and that would be just getting ready to start my next session. So unfortunate, but here we go. All right, guys, I am back. So finished up that meeting. That was awful. Tons more work for me to do, which means my entire weekend now is going to be booked up. So basically, as I've stated before, in my company, we've got millions of vulnerabilities, and we've cut those down to about 250,000 just by doing production servers only. And now, there's operating systems that are outdated and things like that. And with all those outdated systems, people want us to stop having those vulnerabilities sent to them. They want them sent to a different group. So that means I have to create tons of rules that if it's this operating system and it's supposed to go to this group, instead reroute it to this group. And so that's going to be the hard work, is figuring out all the logic so I can create the rules. But I'm already working on other rules that are going to take forever. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I was kind of considering staying overnight tonight. I'm not really sure now, but I want to get a long day in. And as it is, I'm going to be cut down to just a couple hours. I've got to extend that to like 5 or 6 hours if possible. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I have a 30-minute break. I'm going to go get as many miles in as I can, and then back with the same group to do a training to teach them how to handle the vulnerabilities that they have and what to do and all those different things, answer all their questions. And once that meeting is over, we run into another meeting immediately. So 2 meetings back to back, so I really need to try to get as far as I can right now, so that if I can, I'll try to drive during some of those meetings, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I want as much time in the casinos as possible. I did put 2 extra meetings on my calendar so that it'll look like I'm busy and no one will add any more today. However, that obviously won't stop them from adding some tomorrow. So anyway, I'll be back. All right, guys, here I am getting back on the road again. Just finished up that meeting. That was terrible. Tons more work to do. But whatever, we'll do what we have to do. So I've got 3 additional items to work on because of that meeting. And so I'm gathering information right now as I'm driving to get that taken care of. And hopefully by this afternoon I can have all that ready and taken care of. So let me see, I don't know where I am here, how far I am from the casino, but back on the road again, and I'm probably around 20 minutes away. Let me see. Yeah, around 20 minutes away from the casino at this point. So we're going to get in there, and I am ready to go. I'm ready to go. It's afternoon already, and I still haven't made any real money. So I'll be in there, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I am actually in the car right now. Oh, man, went in there and looked for some blackjack and couldn't find any tables open that had any space at all, that weren't 6 to 5. And I finally ended up finding one. I sit down, I start playing, and my count starts going up, and it's not high enough to take insurance. But I've got money out there, and I had only bought in for 500, and I had my last money that was in front of me out there. Now, this might be taking a shot, but I've never done this here before, so I went for it. But I got a 9 and a 2, and the dealer had an ace up. So I took money out of my pocket and put it right on the table, and he closed insurance, and he flipped over a blackjack. And he took my money and he gave me more chips. And I said, wait a minute. I put money on the table. And he didn't say a word. He just stood there waiting for me. So I called the pit boss over and I told him about it. And he said, did you specifically say I want insurance? I said, no. I said, but insurance is the only thing in blackjack that there's no signal for. So I put money on the table. I mean, I had a good hand. I was going to double it. Of course I'm going to insure it. It's just like having a 20. You're going to insure it, which is ploppy logic, obviously. And so he pushed back. He's like, you really need to say something. And then he's like, well, how much did he have out there? And he told them, and he said, give it back to him. So I got my money back that I wouldn't have gotten. It's taking a shot, but what the heck, And he was pissed. That dealer was pissed. And I ended up winning like a bunch of hands in a row after that. And I went from being down, at one point I was down like 700 or something like that. And I ended up zooming back, and by the end of the shoe I was up 700. And I ended up walking away. So he was actually there for every hand except for the last hand when the shoe ended. His brake runner was there. So, and I'd never seen this guy before. Hispanic guy. Maybe he's the brake runner and it's her table, but it was worth a shot and it worked out. Now, as far as slots, things aren't going well. I played 2 machines, made $2 on one, and lost about 105 or something on the other one. So I'm still in the middle of playing my slot session, but there was a free gift, and I took the gift and I just brought it back to the car so no one would see me walking around with it, since the pit bosses think I don't have a card at this casino. So I'm just dropping that off in the car. I still have my chips in my pocket. I may play some more blackjack in a different pit if I can. Otherwise, I'll cash this money out and figure out what to do from there. So right now, plus 700 on the blackjack, still in progress on the slots, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. Here we go. Just leaving this casino. I did go back in, and I did play some slots, and I was ready to leave, and I was down about $20 or $30. I found one last play. Should have paid about $5 or $10, not much. And I was leaving and accidentally hit one of the jackpots on it. It wasn't much. It was like $100, but sure helped me a lot. So I ended up leaving ahead 74 on the slots. And blackjack, well, not blackjack, but table games, there was a small play on a game. And all I had to do was flat bet, and I played it through, and it didn't pan out, but I still ended up ahead $50 on that one. So plus another $50 there, and $74 on the slots, and the original $700 on the blackjack. So ended up being pretty good. It was at 825 or something like that. I don't know. Don't make me do math right now. I got so much stuff in my head right now. While I was walking around, I was taking care of some business as well, returning emails and things like that. So hopefully some work gets done as well. And where did you create the exclusion? Okay, here we go. So here we are getting more stuff from work. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So here's what happened. It's a little bit later right now. I went to the next casino. The idea that I was going to play for a little while and then go to my car for a meeting and then come back and play. So I sit down at this machine and start playing, and it drags on and on. It actually dragged for over 30 minutes. I finally finished up that play, and a friend of mine joined me from there. I was ahead, I don't have it in here. I believe I was ahead $58. So plus $58 on the slots, and I was gonna play blackjack, and I said, well, if this guy is here, then I'm gonna play at his table. And he was there. But I went back to the car, and the meeting was dragging on, and so I decided it's going to be getting late. I might as well just start heading to the next casino instead. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I ended up only playing one slot, made $58, and right now I am moving on to the next casino, and we'll see what happens here. But obviously today wasn't the way I wanted it to go, but I've only gotten about 2 hours of play in, maybe 2.5 hours of play, and what are you going to do? So tomorrow will be another day, but for now we're moving on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. You know, I was just looking at my records here, and the number of casinos that I'm hitting is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and has a lot to do with the amount of time that I have and the casinos that I can't go into right now. And it really hurts. It really does, because right now I'm still able to make the money I want to stay stable, but I know I'm losing money right now. You know, like I said, I was behind 14,000 behind the pace that I wanted to be at this point, and I'm gaining on that. But what am I gaining? $200 or $300 a day? That's not the way to do things. So gonna have to hopefully have more time to play here in the future. For now, you know, work is just so exhausting, so much stuff going on, so many new things added to my plate at work. There's really not much I can do, so that's where we are right now. I'm gonna have to live with it, so I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So I went to the next casino, walked in, started looking around, and saw some people checking machines already, and it was actually kind of busy in there. There weren't too many plays, really, because these guys were kind of looking at everything already. I was probably in there 35 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. I mean, I could have gotten free food, whatever I wanted, but I'm not hungry. Just played a few machines, talked to these guys for a few minutes, and there was a play about a week ago that I abandoned, and I abandoned it because I think you'll remember I had mentioned that it was a play because there were other jackpots under the main jackpot, and once I hit those, then the main one wasn't worth chasing anymore. And they told me they took another hour and a half before it hit, so I did the right thing by leaving. So between me and the person before me, we had spent almost 4 hours on that machine, and there was just no more money to be made. And I know that guy got killed on that machine after I left. But overall, I ended up ahead $52, so not a big deal. But let's see where we at here. 758, 9, about $1,000 for the day. I'm not impressed. I'm not happy about it, but I'm doing what I can do right now. I mean, the last couple days I shouldn't have even left town because of all the things that I have to take care of, and tomorrow's going to be busy as well, but I'm still going to go out of town. It's like, how am I supposed to make money otherwise? I got to quit my job otherwise. So when I get home, I'll be doing a lot of work. That's the only way I'll be able to keep up with everything. So right now I just pulled up to a gas station, going to get some gas, and we'll continue on from here, but I'll be back. All right, folks, I just want to talk to you for a second here. Man, I'm just finding myself in this situation right now where I've got so much going on, so much at work, so much at home, furniture stuff, getting ready for winter time, doing all these different things all at the same time. The office is killing me right now, and I'm going to have to reduce my hours by 25%, which is huge. It's going to lower my income quite a bit. And at the same time, I'm doing so many things. I'm answering emails, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm learning. I got all these different things in the air, and I'm trying to get all of them done at the same time. And I've got almost every minute of the day planned out. From the minute I wake up until an hour before I go to sleep, I'm completely busy, and I don't like it. I really don't. And the only time that I can get unbusy is if I decide to lose some money, and that's the way that I'm thinking about it right now. Is I take an hour off for myself, I'm losing an hour of EV, $75, $100, $150, $200, whatever it might be, and I hate it. And I don't know what's going to have to happen for things to change here, but I'm out of ideas. And frankly, now I'll probably be in Vegas around the 17th, and that's not going to make things any better. So, and I'm taking days off between now and the end of the year for Christmas and Thanksgiving. But the way I set up my schedule was to have Wednesdays as my day off already. So now I'm going to use more off days to fill in those Wednesdays that I'm, not supposed to be at work. So I'll have to talk to my manager about that. But I'm thinking that for next month when I go to Vegas, I'm probably just going to call in sick and use sick days. I'll have to check my stuff. I'll put that on my list for tonight. I'll check to see if I have any more days off for the rest of the year and figure out what to do. I'm not going to change anything on my calendar right now for work until I talk to my boss about those days off and see if he'll do me any favors on those, but I doubt it. But I just feel like, just now I was watching a video trying to educate myself, trying to make myself better, trying to make myself smarter. And it's like every second of the day, I finish up at the gas station, I get in the car, I check my team's messages, and I go straight to a video, listening to a video, trying to do the right thing. And you combine that with a stressful period in time right now, as far as earnings and stressful time at work. And it's pretty tough, man. It's pretty tough. But we will get through it. Somehow, we will get through it. And I hope tomorrow's a big day. I hate Fridays because they get busy toward the end of the day. But I'm going to try to get out of the house real early tomorrow. I kind of feel like I shouldn't have even come home, but it'll probably be a different area tomorrow. Let me see. Anyway, this morning, about 2:45 in the morning, I got a phone call. And usually I've got my ringer turned off because from the time that I had a lot of rental properties where people would be arguing all the time and things like that, I would turn my ringer off at night because people would be calling me about their neighbor who they had an argument with. And it's like, I don't care about your argument with your neighbor. So, but last night I had the ringer on and I got a phone call and I immediately just turned off the ringer and went back to sleep. Well, what it was a guy in the city that I just left who was calling me about a play on a slot machine. It was $100 a spin, and it was a decent play. And I could have played it, but I'm like 3.5 hours away from there. So he would have had to sit at that machine for 3.5 hours waiting for me, and I don't think he could have done that. Anyway, someone else who is a friend went over to play it, and they gave him a hard time because now they're IDing at a certain time. I don't want to say what time because it'll kind of tell you what the place is because it's a weird time. So he couldn't get in. And then this other guy that doesn't really need the money ended up playing it. And he's an AP as well. And I guess he was in it for about $2,000. And he hit for a total of almost $20,000. Actually, like $20,100, $20,200 over 3 jackpots. And that's a shame. Could have used that $20,000. But, I would have played it. And honestly, last night I was thinking about staying overnight in that area, and I didn't do it. And as it ended up, I had a meeting to go to. By the time I got to the meeting was ending. So realistically, I could have done it. I could have gone in there. I had the money to play it, and that could have been mine. But what are you going to do? Not much I can do about it. So that's a little disheartening. But anyway, all I can tell you is I am going to be working hard on figuring things out and really facing all the things that I do and putting them in order by how important they are, and really trying to do the right things. And that's going to include spending time with the family and church, all that kind of stuff. Those are the important things. You can't miss out on life. I feel so bad. Last night I was trying to recover that audio file, and I ran across a folder on my desktop that had my son's name on it. And I opened it up, and it was pictures of him for a Boy Scout thing he did a couple of years ago, from birth to like age 12 or something like that. And it made me so sad that, you know, he's growing up, and, you know, you can't be with him every minute. He's kind of not the nicest guy in the world right now because he's going through all the teenage stuff, but it made me so sad, you know, that they're getting older, which means I'm getting older, and the time is shorter and stuff like that. And man, I hate that so much. But anyway, yeah, this podcast is kind of like therapy to me too. You know, you guys are learning stuff, and hopefully I'm helping you become better at whatever you want to become better at, whether it's life or advanced play or whatever. But it's therapy to me too, because at least I'm saying stuff out loud, and it's almost like no one's on the other end. I'm just talking to a friend or something, or, you know, someone who's not going to tell my secrets to anyone. And it does help me, but man, I got a lot of stuff to go through right now and a lot of stuff to figure out. So it almost seems silly when I look at it, when you think about how much money you can make in a day, and that you're just going through a tough time right now that's going to get reversed, and it's going to be great times again before you know it. And even right now, the last couple of weeks have been more stable and moving in the right direction. I feel like a whiner sometimes talking about this stuff, but it's like I'm just a human being just like everybody else, and it's tough, man. It really is. Anyway, I'll be back. Alright guys, as I am continuing this long drive, I'm thinking a couple things here. First of all, how far did I just drive to play a couple hours? Did I really drive almost 8 hours, 7.5 hours round trip, so I could play just over 2 hours? What am I, crazy? Yes, I am. And then, as soon as I finished that last segment talking about everything that's going on and all that, one of the people that I subscribe to on YouTube was talking about how he's going through a rough patch this year, and we have similar personalities and stuff. You know, he talked about things are going to have to turn around real soon, and he was playing a session, and he was down almost 5,000. He came back and left down like 1,600. And, you know, you always hate to leave down, but, you know, sometimes you get to the point where there's not much more you can do. Either there's nothing else that you can play, or you're tired, or, you know, there's no other players to play, or whatever it might be. But it was interesting, because as soon as I hung up, I turned off the recording. You know, it was like he's going through the same stuff this year. Not to mention a couple other, like, poker players like Rampage, but that guy is just crazy. So I think a lot of what Rampage did last year was luck. He had some big shoves and big bluffs that he made a lot of money on, and it's probably because someone was backing him and he could be fearless. But when reality finally hit, all of a sudden he's a different player now, and he's trying to scrounge back with his road to $1 million to try to get that million back. And you know, he's only at 250K, and he's playing 25, 50 games and things like that. Anyway, continuing my trip home right now. The sun is almost set, and it's 60 degrees outside. Beautiful day, light breeze. I'm going to go home and relax. I made a list of things that I need to work on tonight and this weekend, and I just called the Amish guy that makes our furniture. Our couches will end tables and recliners will be here November 8th, so that's all good. But I told him to put the kitchen cabinets on hold. I really don't feel like spending 20,000 on those right now, so we can get those done. It only take about 3 months to get them done. I want to focus on my work and have a little bit less stress right now. So he was okay with that, and at least we'll have those new couches. So anyway, right now I'm going to continue my trip, get home, and then I'll be back with you tomorrow. What did you eat today, MW? Interestingly, I had meatloaf today. So I was in this casino and they had a menu you could order from to go. I ordered meatloaf. They said come back in 20 minutes. I came back. The food was there. And then I'm walking out of the casino. I see a slot play, and that's the one that was only supposed to pay a little bit of money and ended up paying over $100. And as I was playing it, I had my container open inside my bag, and I was taking bites of the meatloaf. But interestingly, it wasn't that big. It was like okay size. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I eat it mainly at home, but I get bigger chunk of meat, something nice. But it had some nice green beans and mashed potatoes with it. It was a little bit cold, which I would expect, but I would probably rate it a 10 at least on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? I tipped 0. I only had one decent session today. It was a $700 win, and that was the session where I argued with the pit boss and the dealer about that blackjack that the dealer had, and I wanted my money back, which I did get. Other than that, I made very little money. I had 50 here, 50 there, and it added up to about 1,000. But not a big day today, so maybe tomorrow. So that's it for now. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.